Okay, welcome again to another marathon series. Just come a little bit. And today is an M1 marathon, and the topic is connected particles and pulleys. So, if you are giving your A-level math exam and you are doing your M1 paper this year, this is relevant for you. These questions usually come up with a lot of marks, and you need to be able to construct equations and then solve these questions accordingly. I will be solving about 20 questions with you in these marathons, and I hope that should be enough to get you prepared for the exams. Okay, beginning with the first question. Make sure to like and subscribe before you go on and watch this video. Okay, the first question says particle A and B of masses 0.2 and 0.45 kgs respectively are connected by a light inextensible string of length 2.8. The length is important, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a little 0.7 here. I'm going to write down a 0.7 here just to indicate that the length is 2.8. The string passes over a smooth pulley at the edge of a rough horizontal surface which is 2 meters above the floor. So this surface is rough, which means that there's going to be friction involved. Particle A is held in contact with the surface at a distance of 2.1 meters from the pulley, and particle B hangs freely. The coefficient of friction between the surface and A is 0.3. Particle A is released and the system begins to move. So the system is going to move towards B because B has high weight. Find the acceleration of the particles and show that the speed of B immediately before it hits the floor is 3.95, correct to 3 significant figures. So what I need to do is I need to solve the system. So I'm going to start drawing the forces. I'm going to say that this force is 4.5. Since the weight was 0.45 kgs, now you're using as required in the A-level math syllabus. Gravity is 10 meter per second squared. I'm going to mark a tension. Okay, this is again going to be tension. This has a downwards weight component, which is 2. It has a normal reaction, and it has a frictional force. Okay, those are the forces acting on these particles. So at B, what is going to happen is that the downward force will be heavier, so 4.5 minus T equals to 0.45A. That's F equals to MA. F is the net force. At A, what is happening is there's a frictional force acting as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to first solve the frictional force. Frictional force is mu into R. Mu in this case is 0.3, which is the coefficient of friction. R is simply 2 because there's no other downward force acting at point A. So I get 0.6. So at A, T minus 0.6 equals to 0.2A. So I have a set of simultaneous equations to solve. This looks pretty simple. 3.9, 0.65A. Let's see if we get the correct answer for A. 3.9 divided by 0.65. I get 6 meter per second squared. And that's the correct answer. And then it says, and show that the speed of B immediately before it hits the floor is 3.95. So I'm going to say that when B started off, its starting speed was 0. It was moving with an acceleration of 6 meter per second squared. Okay. What I also want to find out is V. I then actually need a value for T or the value for S, depending on whatever I can figure out. So what this tells me is that since this distance was 0.7, what we had to travel was another distance of 1.3. So S is 1.3. So I'm going to say V square equals to U square plus 2AS. These are formulas that you've already studied before. So v square equals to 0 square plus 2as. If you haven't studied the chapter before, I would strongly recommend that you go on and watch the lecture videos first before you watch this marathon. V square is 15.6 and V is therefore 15.6. That's 3.95. Okay, so we have the correct answer. Then we go on to part 2. Part 2 says, given that B remains on the floor while find the speed with which A reaches the pulley. Now we need to understand what is happening at A. Since the friction broke, since the system broke down, what happens is when one particle hits the ground and the string becomes slack, the tension in that string becomes 0. So there is no longer a tension driving particle A. But since it was already moving in this direction with a certain speed, what is going to happen is that it's going to keep moving forward until something stops it. And in this case, what is the friction doing? The friction is stopping this particle from going forward. So there is now a resistive force, which means that the particle will be decelerating. So what's going to happen now is that there's zero driving force, there is a resisting force, and there is going to be F equals to ma. So what this tells me is that there is a deceleration of minus 3 meter per second square happening. Find the speed with which A reaches the pulley. So I'm going to say that U is 3.95. If B hit the ground with a speed of 3.95, at that moment it's necessary for A to also have the same speed, because that is what happens in a system. Now it's decelerating with minus 3. I want to know the speed with which it hits the pulley. So V is unknown, so I must know either S or T. Let's see in the question what we know. This distance was 2.1 meters. Now when this distance was 2.1 meters, it certainly moved forward a little bit. How much forward did it move? The distance that B went to the ground, so that was 1.3. So the remaining distance must be 2.1 minus 1.3, which is 0.8. So I have equals S equals to 0.8. So what's going to happen is V square U square plus 2AS again, 3.95 squared 2 times minus 3 times 0.8. .8025, and I take a root, and that gives me 3.29. So that's the correct answer. 3.29 meter per second is the correct answer. Okay, so a good 11 marks on this question. Okay, so this next question is about an inclined plane. It says particles A of mass 0.2 kg and B of mass 0.52 kg are attached to the ends of a light and extensible string. The string passes over a smooth fixed pulley, which is fixed at the top of a smooth plane. The plane is inclined at an angle of theta to the alpha to the horizontal, where sine alpha equals to 0.16/65 and cos alpha is this. Is A is held at rest at a point 2.5 meters from P, with part AP of the string parallel to a line of greatest slope. B hangs freely below below P at a point of 0.6 meters. Okay, A is released and the particles start to move. It's important to read through the question, because there's sometimes information about whether the plane is rough or smooth, and you need to be able to figure that out. Since this says it's a smooth plane, I know that there's no friction involved. It's only the weight components that will matter to me. So again, starting off with the question, this is 5.2. There's T acting on it, so I'm going to say that 5.2 minus let me see, this has lesser weight, so it's going to be 2.6, so it's definitely going to move towards B. 5.2 minus t equals to 0.52 a. I'm looking for the acceleration and the tension, so it's just about solving simultaneous equations. I can say that the driving force is going to be the gravitational force is going to be 2.6 sine alpha. There's going to be a tension pulling it forward. So I'm going to say that t minus 2.6 sine alpha equals to 0.26 a. Again, this cancels out. Sine alpha is 16 over 65. So I get 0.52 plus 0.78a. Solving this, let's see if we get the correct answer. I am getting 5.85 meter per second, and that is the correct answer. Then the tension in the string is pretty simple. 5.2 minus t equals to 0.52. I plugged it into the first equation. I'm going to take an extra decimal place. I'm going to say that this was 846. So 0.52 into 5.846. And 5.2 minus answer. That gives me t equals to 2.16 newtons. Fairly simple. For 2, the speed with which B reaches the floor and the distance A from P when A comes to instantaneous rest. Okay. The speed with which B reaches the floor. So I'm going to say that B had a starting speed of 0. It traveled with 5.85 acceleration. I could be more precise and I say 5.846 because there's a lot of rounding off involved there in rounding off for about 4 hundredths there. Let's see. And then I had to travel a distance of 0.6 because B was 0.6 above the ground. I just need to find the speed, so V square equals to U square plus 2AS. And I'll take a root of the answer. So V is therefore 2.65 meter per second. Then it says, and the distance of A from P when A comes to instantaneous rest. Now again, what I need to understand is that P has traveled forward, A has traveled forward, and that is 0.6 meters, the distance that P has gone down. It has moved the same distance, but A is not going to stop there. What is going to happen to A is when the system breaks, it again starts decelerating like it was in the previous question. This time gravity is pulling it down. So when the system breaks, there is nothing pulling A forward, so 0. There is gravity pulling it back, 2.6 sine alpha, and nothing else, and I'm going to say that 0.26a. So I get what I am going to get, minus 2.6, 16 over 65, 0.26a. Now this is something that you might already know, or you should know, is that in the absence of all other forces, only when gravity is pulling you down on an inclined plane or driving you forward on an inclined plane, the acceleration is not just simply g, or it's not simply 10, it's basically g sine of the angle. So in this case it's going to be 10 into 16 over 65, which I already know, but I've just written this down just to help you calculate in all other circumstances as well. That would not be true for questions where you have friction This would just be true for questions where you don't have friction and there's just gravity pulling you down forward or backwards depending on what the question is. Okay, so I'm getting minus 32 over 13 as A. So what's going to happen is A is going to keep moving forward. So I'm going to say its starting speed is 2.65, the ending speed of that, minus 32 over 13 is my acceleration. And I want to know when it stops. So it stops when v is 0, and I want to find the distance when it stops. So again, I'm going to use v square equals to u square plus 2as again. 0 squared 2.65 squared 2 times minus 32 over 13 times s. So let's try to solve this. This says s should be 1.43. So A travels another distance of 1.43. So total distance traveled by A is 0.6 plus 1.43. That's 2.03. Distance remaining. Let's call this 1.426. Let's see if we get the correct answers. That way. 426. That's 2.026. So 2.5 minus 0. I get 0.474, which is nearly the same answer as the one given above. There's a bit of rounding off error here. Why? Because I sort of rounded this off. If I had taken the exact value on this, my answers would have probably matched. That's not a problem on the marking scheme probably. These answers are from the examiner report. Okay, it's meters. So moving on to the next question. Now this is sort of with a velocity time graph. Let's see what it says. It says two particles A and P and Q have masses m and 1 minus m kg respectively. These particles are attached to the ends of a light inextensible string which passes over a smooth fixed pulley. P is held at rest with the string taut and both parts of the string vertical. P and Q are each at a height of h meters above the horizontal ground. P is released and Q moves downwards. So I know that this is going to move downwards. The one which has a weight of 1 minus m. So I'm going to write 10 into 1 minus m here because I need to write down the weight, not just the mass. Subsequently, Q hits the ground and comes to rest. Figure 2 shows the velocity time graph for P while Q is moving downwards. So this is a graph for P. Or is at rest on the ground. Find the value of h. So h is the distance that they were above the ground initially. So can I say that the initial acceleration that I see on this velocity time graph, okay, is the time where particle P was moving up. If particle P was moving up with the system basically, then I can say that particle Q was moving down. So this area should basically represent h, the distance that particle P was traveling with the first acceleration that I have here. So when you have a VT graph, distance is simple. I can just say that this is half base into height. So I get 0.5 meters. That's the correct answer. Then it says find the value of m and also the tension in the string while Q is moving. So in the first stage of the motion when the system is active. So what I know from here is that this graph also helps me calculate the acceleration that is in the system. So acceleration is just the change in speed over the change in time that I have. So the acceleration is 4 meter per second square, or I can just calculate the gradient of the first part of the graph. So let's try to construct equations then. So particle q is moving down, so 10 into 1 minus m minus t equals to ma. So 1 minus m into 4 at q. This is happening at q. At p, the particle is moving up. It has a weight of m, so I'm going to write 10m. So t minus 10m equals to m into 4. Again, it's a set of simultaneous equations. I have two unknowns. I have two equations to solve. So this becomes 10 into 1 minus m minus 10m on the left hand side, and 4 into 1 minus m plus 4m on the right hand side. So I get 10 minus 10m minus 10m, 4 minus 4m plus 4m. If I shuffle these around, I get 6 equals to 20m, m equals to 0.3. Okay, then I need to also find the tension. So like I'm going to use the second equation, which is relatively easier to plug in. I get 4.2 newtons. Then I have part 3. It says the string is slack while q is at rest on the ground. Find the total time from the instant that p is released until the string becomes taut again. So what that means is, what is going to happen is when q hits the ground, the system is going to break. Once the system breaks, p will not stop suddenly, since it had a speed when the system broke. It's going to keep moving upwards with sort of deceleration, and that deceleration is basically going to be gravity in this case. Why? Because it's moving freely under gravity. It's not in a plane, it's not being driven by anything else, it's just being stopped by gravity from going up. So it's going to go up. That's going to be p's motion. It's going to go up, and then it's going to come back down here, and at this point the string is going to become taut again. Taut means stretched completely. So that is what is going to happen to this string. Now my task is to find the total time from the instant that p is released, right from the starting point, until the string becomes taut again. So what I'm going to say is that when I'm moving with the system, let's first talk about with the system, my time is basically 0.5 seconds. Okay, that's fairly simple. I don't really need to go on and calculate that. So when I'm moving with the system, now you see this starts decelerating. Why is it decelerating? Because it was moving freely under gravity. Now when it's moving freely under gravity, what I can say is that the tension has become 0, and I can again sort of solve this equation, but since it's moving freely under gravity, I can just say that acceleration is minus 10. Its starting speed would be the ending speed of the system. Now that's something that I don't know, but it's here in the graph that I can see that it's 2. So when the system broke, its starting speed was 2. Okay. What I can then do is I can say that I want to find out how much distance and how much time. Basically how much time. I already know the distance if it's gone. I can find the distance from the graph actually, if I have the time. Okay, so I'm going to just do v equals to u plus 80, 2 minus 10t, so t equals to 0.2. So when I have t equals to 0.2, I can go on and mark this on the graph. So this makes it 0.7. So that's what's happened, 0.7. Now what I can then say is that if it took particle P 0.2 seconds to go up like that, it's going to take 0.2 seconds to come down again like that as well. I don't need to find that again, but then I can calculate the total time. So I'm going to say that the total time was 0.5 plus 0.2 plus 0.2, and that's going to give me 0.9 seconds. So fairly easy question, nothing very complicated about it. It's just that it's a long question in terms of what's written there. Okay, moving on to question number 4. These are slightly long questions. That is usually true for connected particles and pulleys. A smooth inclined plane of length 2.5 meters is fixed with one end on the horizontal floor and the other end at a height of 0.7 meters above the floor. Particles P and Q of masses 0.5 kg and 0.1 kg respectively are attached to the ends of a light and extensible string which passes over a smooth fixed pulley fixed at the top of the plane. Particle Q is held at rest on the floor vertically below the pulley. The string is taut and P is at rest on the plane. Q is released and starts to move vertically upwards towards the plane, and P moves down the plane. Okay, so in this case it's going in the opposite directions because P is heavier. Let me just draw that. And this is a smooth plane, so there's no friction involved. Let's just find the tension in the string and the magnitude of the acceleration of the particles before Q reaches the pulley. So I'm going to say this is T. That's also T. Let's mark this 1. So what's happening at Q is simply it's moving up. You need to be careful about that. T minus 1 equals to 0.1 A. Now at P, it's moving down, which means that its gravity is getting it to move down. The gravity would be 5 sine alpha. Let's call this angle alpha. Now, if you notice, I don't have alpha in this case, but I know the dimensions of the plane. I can see the right triangle that is here, and I can simply say that sine alpha is going to be 0.7 over 2.5, which is 7 over 25. I don't need the exact angle, I can just manage with sine alpha. So I'm going to say that 5 sine alpha minus T equals to 0.5A. The tensions cancel out. I get 5 sine alpha minus 1 equals to, I want to go to write sine alpha, 7 over 25 minus 1 equals to 0.6A. Let's see if we get the correct answer. Acceleration is 2 over 3. To find the tension, that's simple. 0.1 into 2 over 3. I get 1. Let's just write that exact, 16 over 15. Okay, that is part 1. Good 5 marks. At the instant just before Q reaches the pulley, the string breaks. P continues to move down the plane and reaches the floor with a speed of 2 meters per second. Find the length of the string. Now it's important to note here what's happening. You see this 2.5 is not the length of the string. So at the instant that just before Q reaches the pulley, the string breaks, which means that Q would have traveled 0.7 meters before it broke. Okay, so that's something to notice. In the meanwhile, P would have moved 0.7 downwards. Okay, that's something also that we need to notice. Now let's see what is happening. P continues to move down the plane and reaches the floor with a speed of 2. So I will need to find out how much this distance is to this speed is 2 at the end. So I'm going to have to find this distance s that will help me calculate the length of the string. Essentially what I'm trying to calculate is this portion of the string. So let's start the calculations. Let's first try to figure out what is happening to p when the string breaks. So p has come 0.7 down. It was moving with an acceleration of 2 over 3. Its starting speed was 0. What I need to figure out is that at this point, either both the time and the speed at this point in time. So I'm going to find out v, given that s is 0.7. The distance that q moves up, that's the distance that p moves down. So v square equals to u square plus 2as again. So v square equals to 0 square 2 times 2 over 3 times 0.7. So v is root of 14 over 15. Let's just write it like that so that we get an exact answer out of this. So when the string broke, the speed of p was 14 over 15 and it kept moving downwards. Root of 14 over 15 and it kept moving downwards. Now without the system, its acceleration would have changed. So without the system, there's no tension involved anymore. Without the system, A is now traveling with the speed of, again this question is about that I could just say g sine alpha would give me the speed, but just for the sake of elaborating on this, I'm going to say that the tension has gone down to 0, so I'm going to write minus 0 equals to 0.5a. So 5 into 5 into sine alpha was 7 over 25 equals to 0.5a. So I get 0.7. So I am still accelerating. My starting speed is root 14 over 15. My ending speed is 2. My acceleration is 0.7. So I get v square equals to u square plus 2as. Again, 2 squared. I'd get 14 over 15 here. The squares and root would cancel out. My acceleration is 0.7. I need to figure out what distance I was traveling. So that will help me sort of solve the question. How is that going to help me solve the question? Let's just wait for the answer and then we can go back to the diagram and see. So S is in this case 2.19. I feel a bit of an error there. Let me just check. Okay, this acceleration is wrong. Calculation error. 2.8. Which is why my answer is coming out really weird. This doesn't look like a distance of 2.19 even if you look at the diagram, which was my first hint that I made an error. So I'm getting about 0.5476. Okay, so if I then want to elaborate on the part that what's the length of the string, I could simply say that if I look at this part and this part, so that part is 0.7. This part was basically 2.5 minus 0.7 and minus the distance that I just found out, which is minus 0.5476. And I need to add this part to it, so it's going to be plus 0.7. So it's just about subtracting 0.5476 out of this. So I get 1.95, which is the correct answer according to the question as well. Okay. Going on to question number 5. This says a particle A of mass 1.6 kg rests on a horizontal table and is attached to one end of a light inextensible string. The string passes over a smooth fixed pulley at the edge of the table. The other end of the string is attached to a particle P of mass 2.4 kg. So I'm just going to draw this 16 here and 24 here. That's T. And that's another T. Okay. The other end of the string is attached to this, which hangs freely below the ground. The system is released from rest with the string passed and be with the height of 0.5 meters above the ground, as shown. In the subsequent motion, A does not reach P before B reaches the ground. So B is going to hit the ground and A does not reach P before that happens. Given that the table is smooth, find the time taken by P to reach the ground. So for B to reach the ground, find the time taken by B to reach the ground. So I will have to find the acceleration so that I can find the speeds and so on, and the time then as well. I need to find the acceleration in any case. At B, what's happening at B? 24 minus T equals to 2.4 A. Acceleration. Now the table is smooth, so there's nothing resisting A at this point. So I'm going to say that at A there's a simple thing happening. That's T minus 0 equals to 1.6 A. 24 equals to 4A, A equals to 6. So what's happening is that U is 0, A is 6. The distance that I need to travel is 0.5 and I need to find the time. So I'm going to use S equals to UT plus half AT square. 0.5, 0, half, 6 and T square. So 0.5 into 2 divided by 6, that gives me 1/6. So T is root of 1/6, which is root 6 over 6, and I'm going to write that as it is. I can also write it in decimals, which is 0.408 seconds. But if I need to use it in a subsequent part, I'm going to use the exact one because it gives me a weird answer otherwise. Given instead that the table is rough, and the coefficient of friction between A and the table is 3 over 8. So that's mu is 3 over 8, which is going to give me the frictional force. So the frictional force would be 3 over 8 times 16, which is 6. So find the total distance traveled. By A. So what is going to happen again is that B is going to hit the ground. A is going to keep moving forward. It's going to keep moving forward till it decelerates to a stop. We will have to find that out since the question says you may assume that A does not reach the pulley. So I'm assuming that it does not go on and strike the pulley. So that's what I'm going to assume in this question. But I'm going to have to solve the equations again. I'm going to write again that 24 minus T equals to 2.4 A. And this time I have a frictional force in this as well, so I'm going to say that the frictional forces are right now 6. That's what I just calculated for you. I just said that this should be 16. So T minus 6 equals to 1.6 A. So this time the acceleration of the system is 24 minus 6 gives me 18, and that's 4A. So A is basically, I think, 4.5 if my calculations are correct. So 18 divided by 4. Yes. Okay. So what is going to happen is that it started off with a speed of 0. There was a system in place that was driving it at 4.5, and it had to travel a distance of 0.5 before B hit the ground. So it's going to move forward a distance of 0.5 before it hit the ground. So what I need to find out is what was its ending speed. Why? Because I need to continue this motion without the system as well. So I need to know what speed A was moving at in order to find that next part of the system. So that gives me root of 4.5. I'm just going to write root of 4.5. So for the next part of the system, without the system basically. So without the system, A is no longer accelerating. Its tension has gone down to 0. It's being resisted by a frictional force, so minus 6 and equals to ma. So A is right now minus 6 divided by 1.6. So the particle is decelerating with a deceleration of minus 3.75. Its starting speed for this part of the motion is 4.5. It's decelerating. My interest is in finding S, so I need to know when it stops. So it's going to stop when its speed reaches 0. So v square equals to u square plus 2as again. 0 squared root of 4.5 squared 2 times minus 3.75 times s. Minus 2 into 3.75 is minus 3, so 4.5 divided. That's 0.6. So total distance is then 0.5 plus 0.6, which is 1.1 meters. And that is the final answer. Okay, that's the end of the first part of the marathon. I'm going to be back with some more questions in the next video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and to